Guys, I got a question for you. When we talk about similarity, which is really kind of what our next unit is, the next couple of days here in class, what does it mean to be similar? You're alike. What does that really mean?
Like, I have blonde hair and she has blonde hair.
Okay. Oh, I know that. Sam?
Okay, so similar is like you have things in common or different, or you share certain characteristics, but they're not the same.
Okay, so we share characteristics, but they're not the same. Okay, so kind of like the blonde hair, right? And Mason's blonde hair might be a little bit longer than Alyssa's blonde hair, right? So, though they're alike, they're similar, but they're definitely not congruent. So we talk about similar figures. The best way I could probably model this for you is, I want you to kind of think about this. Here's the triangle. And then go clone this triangle. And are these two triangles congruent? Yeah. All their angles, corresponding angles match up, corresponding sides match up. But what if I took this triangle and made it bigger? Are they congruent?
No, but they're similar.
What's alike? Sam?
In relation to the other sides, they're the same. Like to scale, they're the same.
To scale, they're the same. Okay, that's good. So we're identifying that they have this scale. What is scale?
Ratio.
A ratio. Okay, so a lot of what we're going to be talking about today, we're looking at ratios and proportions, which is why we had you guys take all day yesterday working with ratios and proportions. What I want to do now is we're going to do a little experiment here. Gotta try to remember where it's at. Yeah. Trying to remember. That's so not what I'm looking for. Okay. Well, this might be a good one. Yeah, that was a waste of time. Alright, we'll try this again. There we go. Okay, so we have a protractor. And if I take my protractor and I measure this angle down here, what's the measure of that angle? Looks like it's measuring right here at about 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 50. Now if I take that same protractor and I go down to this corresponding angle, what do we notice about the measure of that angle? There we go, yeah. So the big concept is that similar figures are similar because their angles are the same, right? So if we go back to this page, the thing I want you to really know is that similar figures have congruent angles and proportional sides. That's really the big idea for today. So two items are similar. They have congruent angles, and they have proportional sides. That proportion is called the scale factor. So when you're asked to find what is the scale factor for these similar shapes, all you really need is the ratio of the corresponding sides. And the way we write that is you use R. and we say that R is equal to the new over the old. So if you look at these two shapes I have over here on the right, you notice this is A, B, C, D. And on the bottom, a little hard to see, and we'll try to zoom in for you. We have A with an apostrophe, so we call that A prime. And so we have A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. The prime is basically the new. So if I take a look at the side of AD, or A prime, D prime, what's the length of A prime, D prime?
3, I think.
3. And what does A prime, D prime correspond to?
AD.
Okay, and how long is AD?
6.
So therefore, my scale factor here is
1/2.
1/2. And this little guy right here, this scale factor, we call that the similarity ratio. So if you're being asked to find the similarity ratio between these two shapes, that similarity ratio would be 1/2. Now, what's the symbol that we use for congruent?
The equal with like the top of the pie.
So that's equal, then we have the tilde.
What is it?
Tilde.
Tilde?
Tilde, yep.
Okay.
Now, that's what it means to be congruent, right? And part about being congruent is being equal, right? Are similar shapes equal?
No.
So therefore, the symbol that we use for similarity
It's
is just the tilde. And so if you're being asked to write a similarity statement, we would say that A, B, C, D is similar to A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. So that little tilde, all that means is similar to. It is similar to. That's how you would say that. So again, big idea for today. If two figures have proportional sides and congruent angles, then the figures are
similar.
similar.